right, we're good. All right. Yeah, that works. I want to make sure that I got everything going on over here. We are.
All right. What is going on?
And we are now running on Flyers Radio 24/7. So welcome in to everybody that's listening around the world there. That's a heck of a win.
That is.
I'll take it. Yeah. You know, it's a good place to recruit from. What were we just talking in the pregame? Like I was rambling along about American hockey before we missed the join on the network, and I had to stop. But you would put Paul Holmgren into the Flyers Hall of Fame. He's going into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame in 2 weeks, and you win the game on a couple of American goal scorers. We'll take it.
Yeah,
it's poignant.
And James threw some punches.
Yeah, he threw at least one.
Yes.
I'm not sure I've seen that before.
Blake Coleman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little shocked to see that, but yeah, I just talked to Keith Yandel, and I just asked him, I'm like, why do you guys bounce back after every loss? I mean, they haven't lost 2 straight.
Right.
You know, they're not scoring a lot of goals. And he said something really interesting, and I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. I'm going to talk about it right now. You know, they've won 4 2-1 games this season.
Right.
How many games are they in? Let me see here.
13.
13 games. So they've won more than a quarter of their games.
Wait, 2-1 games they won last year.
I don't know. I don't think they lost 2-1 games
That's
last
true.
year. Because they never gave up just 2 goals.
Right.
But they've won in 13 games 2-1 4 times.
Yeah.
They beat Vancouver on the second game of that road trip in the back-to-back 2-1. They beat the Washington Capitals on the road 2-1. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1. And they beat this team tonight
and
2-1. Now, 3 of those 4 teams are really good teams, right?
Yeah.
Washington, Carolina, and Calgary are good teams. Vancouver's not a horrible team. But they did it on the road on a back-to-back. But and Yan said it, that's how you win in the playoffs.
And, you know, and
he's right.
That's how you win in the playoffs, but it's hard to, it's hard to overstate, I think, how hard it is to win 2-1 games like that often in today's NHL. Where remember when a 2-goal lead used to be the worst lead in hockey?
Yeah.
Well, now it's slowly creeping toward a 3-goal lead because teams go up 3-0 early on in the game, and it's gone by the end of the game. I mean, it's just it vanishes. It just goes up in smoke. So to play a team close like that for as long as you need to, and then get the winner like one of the other 2-1 games, they got the winner in the second period and gutted it out the whole third, or it was early in the third, one of the two. To be able to perform like that on what we can call consistently now, being 30% of the games, is pretty admirable, and that is, it's a better tool to have over the course of a season to be able to win 2-1 games, 3-2 games, whatever, than it is to consistently go out there and win 6-0, because you're not going to win every game 6-0, and the minute you run into problems, you don't know what to do.
Well, it's what John Tortorella said on ESPN the other day and lit people on fire about Connor McDavid. He said, and he referenced Ovechkin. Ovechkin didn't win the cup until he eventually changed the way he played, which i.e. means he needed to play more defensively and play all zones. And, McDavid not getting calls and blah, blah, blah. And Torch said, what he should do about it is just shut up about it. Don't talk about it. Play through it. And people flipped out. But he's not wrong, because you can't outscore teams 6-4 in the playoffs. It's not how – we've been watching this sport for our whole lives.
Right.
Everybody listening, if you're listening to this, I know you're a hockey fan. You know that playoff games are tight. They contest every inch of the 200 by 85. And you can't just outscore teams. It's why Toronto, with all that firepower, hasn't done crap with it when it comes to playoff time.
Right.
It's why Tampa, when they were that team that was an absolute wagon that got swept by Columbus, they didn't have enough guys that could contest the ice. And when they went and got Blake Coleman, Barclay Goodrow, Pat Maroon, they went on to win 2 cups, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, being able to win those games is tough. I think there's a lot of stress that comes with it because there's no margin for error.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was just saying before you got up here, I was idly, I guess, just talking to myself that I don't know about watching 4 months of this. This is going to be a long winter if we're dealing with these 2-1 games all the time. But I would rather have solid, crisp 2-1. I mean, I'm never comfortable unless the Flyers are winning by 4. But I'd rather have these crisp 2-1 games than have a bunch of bad luck goals against or anything like that, or just not knowing. Like, I forget the number, but the Flyers are going through a stretch sometime in the last couple of years where no matter how big their lead was, it was like they were holding a bomb and it could just blow up in their face at any moment, and that lead's gone. It's better than that. So solid foundational hockey is going to lead to more wins than losses, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and this game, it was a really, really well goaltended game. I mean, it was, right?
We were talking in the press box earlier. It's just like, can Markstrom give us 1 rebound?
Yeah.
Can he not shoot every puck straight into the corner?
So good.
We got the 1 rebound. We got the rebound we needed. Right when we needed.
He was excellent in the game. Hart was excellent in the game. I mean, you look at it, there was 77 shots in this game and 3 goals. I sit up in the press box watching the game with Justin Kolokowski. I probably screwed his name. Kolokowski. He's the Flyers E-Bug, and he's a former D1 goalie. So we talk about goaltending, obviously, quite a bit.
Right.
And he goes, like, some people, like that kind of layman hockey people, would look at this game when it was 1-1 and go, this is a boring game because there's only 2 goals on the board.
Right.
And he's like, this has been a really good game because it's been great scoring chances, great saves. And, of course, 2 goalies are going to love the saves in a goalie battle. But there was also a lot of physicality, a lot of anger, a lot of scrums and physicality. And I think it just had like every element other than it was high scoring, which is fine by me. I know a lot of people like scoring to be off the charts. I'm not one of them. But I thought this was a really good hockey game, and there was good structure. There were breakdowns. There were plays like where Scott Lawton gets taken down and there's a penalty shot. I mean, it had everything.
The only thing that left me in a bad taste in my mouth about the game was just the Flyers power play. I'd be fine if they had a bunch of 10-bell chances and just got shut down. But the power play obviously is still not clicking, and that's going to be 2 things. It's going to be a point of stress because you obviously want to fix your power play, but a game like tonight, what they're in danger of is continued frustration on the power play, also leading to momentum shifting to the other end. It's we've talked about this before that a power play opportunity squandered not only drags your team down a little bit, but it gives the other team a little bit of wind in their sails, especially a 5-on-3 like they had in the first period. So that's the problem. It wouldn't bother me so much if they were getting a lot of chances and just not scoring, but they're getting they're getting shut down, especially on zone entries, and that's the kind of penalty kill that gives the other team that momentum. Now we saw tonight. I mean, the Flyers got that goal from Kevin Hayes, and that you saw the boost that gave them. Yep. And then not too long after that. Actually, I'm sorry, it would have been in the third period. They got a really top-notch save from Carter Hart at the other end, and that gave them a boost. So just trying to find ways to not give the other team that momentum is helpful.
Yeah, and there was Hayes scores. I think that can give the team energy and inspire them, and then he leaves the ice early in the second period. And I just talked to Keith Yandel, and he said that when we came into the locker room, it's always scary when a guy who's been dealing with core injuries and a couple of surgeries leaves the bench early. And they come into the locker room in between the second and third, and Hazy's in there going, I'm ready to go. I'll be back. I'm fine for the third. That can give you a lift as well.
Had to use the restroom, maybe.
Yeah, I had tacos. I mean, geez. Taco Tuesday. Hey, got to not do that on game day. But yeah, I mean, there was just so many. But again, like, remember when we were talking earlier, I was like, guys that need to pull them out of this are guys like Cam Atkinson.
Yeah.
How about the positioning by him on the 2-on-1 in overtime? Perfect, right?
Right where you need to be.
Driving the net for the rebound.
Yep.
Good shot that gets onto the goalie that he can't control the rebound. And Atkinson, and there's no matter how good Markstrom is, he can't get to that puck. He just can't. It's an off the rush, odd man rush opportunity, and it's a one-timer off the rush, off a rebound, which is one of the hardest, the highest percentage chances of scoring.
Right.
And he executed it perfectly, and that's exactly what they needed.
And in that situation, to an extent, 2-on-1 over, that play that you saw that ended the game, hockey teams run that drill more than anything else that they do. It is the warm up to every practice. It's the warm up to every morning skate. At some point, they're doing 2-on-1s, and so they're familiar with where the puck is going to go off the rebound if they take the shot right.
Yep.
Couturier probably knew exactly what he was doing there. He wasn't necessarily shooting to score.
No, he's shooting
for a rebound.
Absolutely,
and
directional rebound.
Yeah, and so they got they get what they want out of it. It's not just an accident. That's something that that is ingrained in these guys' brains. So Atkinson went right to the right place, and Couturier executed it exactly the way he needed to in order to get him that rebound. And Atkinson would have had to open up there too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not coming down on his correct wing.
Yep.
So he's got to open up, and he pulled that off to flawlessly. I mean, he had an open net, but if you don't pull that open up right, you're going to fire that puck into the corner. So.
Yeah, you're going to hook it, right. And you're right. It could go in either corner at that point.
Yep.
Tremendous, and again, this is another example tonight of the team rebounding after a loss. These were really two very important points, not just because it's tight and all that, but it's the first game of the homestand.
Yeah.
Tampa comes in Thursday. Boston comes in on Saturday. You wanted to get this homestand off to a good start. And, when you have a little bit of a homestand, you've been kind of scattered lately all over. One home game, couple on the road. One home game, couple on the road. Well, here's what they've done, Bri, in coming off a loss. So the first loss of the season's opening night, the 5-4 shootout loss against Vancouver. They come back, they beat Seattle 6-1, and they beat Boston 6-3. Then they lose to Florida last game of the homestand, 4-2. And they go out on the road for the first time. They beat Edmonton and Vancouver back-to-back, 5-3 and 2-1. Here's your first 2-1 victory of the year.
Okay.
Then they lose to this Calgary team in a clunker. I mean, they were bad. The only person that showed up was Carter.
Right.
And they lose that game 4-0. They come back. They have a really good third period against Arizona. They win 3-0. They lose to Pittsburgh 3-2 in overtime on that Letang wraparound.
Oh, yeah.
They come back after that, go to D.C. and take on the Caps, and they beat them 2-1. And a great goaltending performance from Martin Jones on that night. Then they lose to Toronto 3-0. Wasn't a game like Calgary where they lost 4-0, but they weren't great that night, but they weren't hideous. They lose 3-0. They come out and they beat Carolina, the top team in the league, on the road, mind you.
Yeah.
2-1. Then they lose to Dallas. 3 games in 4 days. Tough stretch. Dallas is laying in wait. Season on the line in a lot of ways, on the brink. They lose that game 5-2. And they come out here tonight and they avenge the 4-0 loss against Calgary with a 2-1 overtime win.
I don't know if you saw this
That's
number.
pretty impressive.
It is. And you're going to have to keep it up. This number that we saw earlier from Jordan Hall, WBC Sports Philly, going into tonight, so including this game here, 8 games left for the Flyers as of this morning. Combined record of the 7 teams they play, 57, 24, and 15.
Jeez.
I mean, that is nuts.
That is.
That is, that's above, that's close to a 700 points percentage.
Yeah. So who are we talking here? We're talking Tampa twice?
Yep, Tampa twice, Boston Saturday, Florida,
Carolina at home here. That's Black Friday.
Yep.
At New Jersey. And New Jersey, going into this game tonight, was ahead of the Flyers in the standings. I mean, even a team that doesn't have a great record is the Islanders. I mean, they're at 500 basically, but
Where
they
is
started
that
out 13 games on the road.
Where is that game?
That's here.
Okay. When's their first trip to the new building? Is it? You have that?
Against the Islanders, they will go to the brand new building on the island. I forget what was it called.
UBS, right?
UBS or
Yeah.
UBC Center or something like
Something like that.
that.
UBS Arena.
They will go to New York Monday, January 17th.
Okay. I hope that place isn't the House of Horrors that
Nassau.
Nassau Coliseum was.
Yeah. All right. So here's the rest of the month in the 8 games you mentioned: Tampa, Boston, both here at the Wells Fargo Center. Then Tampa and Florida, both on the road, and a back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday of next week before Thanksgiving. Carolina on Black Friday, to New Jersey for one game on the 28th, and then November 30th they'll take on the New York Islanders here at Wells Fargo. So what is that? 3 games on the road and 5 games at home. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I guess
there's
that
there was
4.
one less game than 7 games left.
7 games. Oh yeah, that was as of this
Including
morning. So I included today. Yeah, I mean and December is always a road heavy month for the Flyers. So to get this homestand off to a good start makes it that more important. And then you've got 2 tough teams coming in. I don't know what Boston was up to lately. I don't know if they're going to be as scatterbrained as they were last time they were here. I doubt it. They probably have it a little bit more together than they did then. So
they've won 2 straight, and they're 6-4 in their last 10. They're sitting in the 4th spot. Excuse me, the 5th spot in the Atlantic. Florida, Toronto, Tampa, Detroit.
Yeah,
and
Detroit
then
and Toronto being not Toronto so much, but Detroit being the big surprise there.
Yeah, big time. So, I mean, look, even the Buffalo Sabres though tonight they got a 2-1 win over Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Buffalo's coming out of nowhere.
Dustin Tokarski with a 45 save.
Is he still playing in the NHL?
Well, they're 2 goalies. You can say about both of them. Tokarski and Craig Anderson, combined age of like 86.
Oh my goodness,
That's insane, right?
Dustin Tokarski played against the Philadelphia Phantoms across the street.
Did he really?
That's how long he's been around.
Wow, that's bananas.
That's a name from the past. I mean, he's Mike McKenna type material who just mopped up in an alumni game last night.
Yeah,
55 minutes of action.
I talked to Mike last night at a rare goalie walk-off interview at the intermission. And I asked him. I said, "This gear looks phenomenal," and he said it was delivered his last day of that season.
Oh, really?
And he retired.
He retired with a fresh kit, huh?
Yeah, a brand new set of Bauer pads and blocker and glove. Like his blocker had 1 puck mark.
My memory must be failing me because Dustin Tokarski didn't turn pro until 2009-10, which was the first year the Phantoms were gone. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm remembering here. But that he was a rookie in 09-10. So this is professional season number 12 for him. He did play for the Phantoms in the Lehigh Valley a few years back, but he's been around
for a couple Flyer games, didn't he?
He may have. I don't know.
I thought he did.
But he's been around a long time, as has Craig Anderson.
Oh yeah.
So those 2 guys are still able to go out there and make a little money. That's good for them.
I'm just seeing this tweet from John Clark that Kevin Hayes said in his post-game availability that he's going to give the puck from his first goal of the season to his late brother, Jimmy's son.
I saw that. Yeah,
great.
That's outstanding.
Outstanding. All right, you want to put a wrap on it?
Yes, let's put a wrap on it. It's past my bedtime.
Yes, it is. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home and get out of this stupid suit.
We have about 24 people hanging out on the stream and on the video, so thanks for that.
Yeah, no
We
doubt.
appreciate
A couple
that.
dozen here hanging out at the bar, too, holding up the bar.
Yeah,
These guys.
somebody's got to.
It's Tuesday, people. Since doesn't anybody work on Wednesdays?
Tuesday after an overtime game that didn't start till almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah, there it is. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna go home and do the podcast and get some sleep. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back Thursday. Yeah, Flyers Tampa. All right, it's Brian Smith and Jason Martinez. Everybody, enjoy your evening, and tomorrow we'll talk to you on Thursday for brand new Flyers game day.
Take care.